You're tuned to the Travel Guys on KFBK. I'm Tom Romano with Mark Hoffman from Sports Leisure Vacations to my left. Welcome. As you probably heard us promote earlier, we've got special guests in the studio here who are, right up our alley, Mark. They're going to make a living out of traveling, and that's kind of like what you do with a brand new television series that they're developing called, of course, American Travelers. And with us today on the program is Dave and Kari Lasco. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hey, nice to be here.
Let's begin by telling us a little bit about how this American Travelers idea came to fruition.
Well, both of us are travelers, and at one point we were traveling, and I've been in the entertainment business for a long time, and I said, why don't we make a show out of this? Because we enjoy sharing our experience with people.
What did you encounter as developing this project, the most difficult part?
The most difficult part, well, first of all, you have to get location releases and talent releases from people you talk to. And sometimes they're a little hesitant to do that, but we haven't run across a ton of that. Also, concepting the show, we started in one direction, and then our show will show you a behind-the-scenes aspect of how we're doing the show. There's only two of us, so we have no camera crew, we have no audio person, no lighting person. It's just the two of us. So that presents a little bit of a challenge in making sure that we get the footage we need, and make sure everything is working correctly.
Dave, how was this idea born? I mean, were you just out on the road one day and one of you said to the other, wow, let's do this? Or have you done similar things to this before? Or how did this concept come about in your mind?
Well, I have produced a show called Redwood Adventures TV in 2008 for the Redwood National Park area. And we were on a trip. I can't remember if it was Hawaii or Mexico. We were in one of the popular destinations, and we're sitting there looking at this beautiful postcard view of the ocean and saying, I bet you other people would like to see this. And that's kind of how it all started. We start talking about, well, why don't we make this into a show?
Yeah.
And
this time in our life also, we're empty nesters, and, we have time, between work, but we have time and we have the financial resources now to pursue this. So that's why we thought this is a good time, and we really wanted to share it with other people, same people, empty nesters, or anyone that loves to travel.
Now, there's a lot of travel shows. What is it about American Travelers that you see is going to be different and special compared to all the rest that's out there?
It's our quirky, corny.
It's really just a mom and pop production. We're very real. I'm a nurse by trade, and we hold 9-to-5 jobs basically. But
speak for yourself.
Yeah,
I'm a sound mixer for the TV business, so I'm on call, so to speak, all the time, and never know where I'm going, and my hours are crazy. But I enjoy that. Go ahead, Kari.
So what we really wanted to show is we're just real people, just like anyone else wanting to travel, and giving our experience, booking the trips.
So it's things that you could do once you get to a destination. We picked some of the popular ones so that this is what you might expect. This is what you see on the travel websites. And then we go experience those trips, and we kind of show the traveler what they might expect. But also we look for out-of-the-way type trips and out-of-the-way experiences while you're there, and how you could do this on a budget. Sometimes people want to go, oh, yeah, I just can't afford that.
Yeah, Costa Rica was a great example of that. We found an amazing deal down there, and then really there's so many things you can do that are not typical, like a resort kind of typical vacation. There's a lot of trekking all over that country and seeing, different spots.
This is more than just a dream at this point. I mean, you have put 7 episodes somewhat in the can. You've gone out and invested a lot of your own money, correct?
Correct, yes. 7. We have a total of 15. actually, but I'm pushing 7 of them.
And now the goal is to perhaps try to get some assistance in some way, shape, or form with the additional production costs with these, and you're presenting it to a television studio, a network at somewhere along the way.
Correct.
Explain that process a little bit. Most of the people listening, I'm sure, have never had an experience like that. So kind of take us through from where you would, if you can, the Reader's Digest condensed version of where you would go from here if you were to get on the air someplace.
Okay. First of all, a little bit about my career. I'm a sound mixer for television business for 30 years. I've been working for other production companies. Most television shows are not produced directly by the networks. They are produced by independent production companies. And those are the companies that have hired me over the years. So my experience in putting the show together is a combination of watching and learning by watching for all these years. So being a camera person, a director, an audio person, a lighting person, is all of my experiences from 30 years of doing this. So the next step is there's several ways. The most common ways to sell a show is to do what they call a sizzle reel. We've spent thousands of dollars filming these locations, and not only in equipment, but also in travel costs. And of course, we're having a lot of fun when we do this. Anyway, what happens is there's crowdfunding sites like Indiegogo and Kickstarter and GoFundMe. So we need to edit all these episodes. For a 22-minute episode, which is a half-hour time slot on television, it takes anywhere from 80 to 150 hours of editing, depending on how complicated your edits are. So we're asking $7,000 per episode for editing. So we're on the Indiegogo campaign. If you look for American Travelers, we're also on Facebook, American Travelers. If you just search for American Travelers, and there's a link on American Travelers that goes to our Indiegogo page. We're looking for funding. What happens is once I have 7 episodes, I will hire a entertainment attorney, which we have a copyright attorney already, which does not shop for us. He is our contract attorney, but I will hire an attorney to shop, or an agent. Sometimes they're a combination person, and they will shop to the networks.
And how long does all this process take you?
Oh, it takes years. We've been filming for 3 years so far. We plan on having it ready, the 7 episodes finished. Our Indiegogo campaign ends at the end of the year, and then it's time to get to work and get these edited. So I plan to have them ready for to present to the networks in the summer, and with plans to air in the fall.
You're tuned to the Travel Guys. Our guests are Dave and Kari Losco. They're with a new TV series, well, certainly hope to be a new TV series, called American Travelers. Wow, that's quite a mouthful to bite off.
Now, you've been out on the road and you've gone to a lot of these places. You know, it's going to be a while before people see these on TV. So tell us about one of your adventures and something that maybe either turned out better than you expected or differently than you expected.
I'm going to have Kari talk about our climbing a volcano in the island of Nevis.
Oh, yeah, that was great. We had a guide that took us up to the top of a volcano, and
he was a triathlete. So he was in his 30s, yeah, and very fit.
And we're pretty fit, but it took a little effort to get up this hill. It was a lot of climbing with, putting our gear on our back and climbing up these vines.
Right. See, everywhere we go, we carry our own gear. So we have 2 backpacks and a tripod case. And we have 3 cameras, a GoPro, a small camera, and then a Canon larger DSLR.
He was nice enough to carry one of our cameras and then actually film us as we are climbing up through these vines.
Right, and we're talking mud. We're talking vertical mud climbing vines.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Crazy. It was crazy. It was a lot more than I thought, but we were up for the challenge. And plus, we knew the views up at the top were going to be just amazing, and they were. So we peek out, we get to the top. He films our reaction to this beautiful view, and then we had a short amount of time to get back down to meet our next guide for snorkeling. So that was a challenge, but actually going down was a little quicker.
Kari, has there been one place that you've gone to where you were really hoping for something spectacular and it turned out to be something different?
Well, I'd have to say that every single place I have gone in with childlike eyes, and there's nothing that I've been disappointed with. I mean, I just see some beauty in just about every place we've been.
The only thing I could say that might have been disappointing was in Puerto Rico. I think our cab driver, first of all, most of these cab drivers in these other countries, you take a risk getting in there. They drive absolutely crazy. And I'm looking at the speedometer on this van we were in, and first of all, you're hearing all this rattling noise, and the speedometer is pretty high up there in speed, I think like 90 miles an hour, and you're like looking and you're seeing like all the lights on, like this truck needs service and all that stuff, and you know that this truck isn't serviced, and you could tell by the brakes are squeaking and there's some rattles like coming from the wheels. So, and then the other trip we had was Dominican Republic. We a communication barrier, having good communication is key. We were supposed to take a bus, 3.5-hour bus trip to our destination. Turned out we got on a public bus, and at the airport they said, don't get on a public bus. We ended up one, and we had to sit on these little jump seats. Kari's sitting next to a guy.
I sat on a box next to the driver.
And another guy had a Uzi in his hand.
They have kind of a makeshift military down there.
It's very crazy. The people are like on the bus, like it's totally overpacked, and we're driving, and there's people on motorcycles carrying bread baskets. And all their bread
truck consists of a bicycle and somebody with all the bread on top of their back.
So their roads are very narrow. So these people are almost getting hit daily. It was pretty insane.
I tell you, that was one of my favorite trips because you really get to see how they live and just it was great.
I was going to say, did you get all this on film? Is this
something we do.
Is this the kind of stuff we're going to see on American Traveler?
Exactly. Yeah. I have a camera with me all the time, a small one. It has like a little floating lens in it, so I am constantly rolling. So we have it on that trip. When we got to our destination, it was night. So we get off, and I trying to communicate with the driver. We need a taxi to get us because they're dropping us off in this little town in the middle of nowhere at 10:30 at night. And up shows, instead of a taxi, this little motorcycle with a rickshaw on the back. Yeah. And that was our ride. So they throw in our luggage upside down.
They loaded us up.
And it's smoking. It's a two-cycle motorcycle, so it's smoking. And we're just like flying. I am laughing my ass off. Kari is scared.
Tom, it kind of paints a visual picture, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's no city lights there, so it's like we just disappeared into the dark.
We show up at this fancy hotel, and there's a British couple up there, very sophisticated looking, and they are just laughing their ass off, and they're saying, excuse my language, but they're laughing, and they go, where'd you come from? We said the airport, and they go, you came all the way on that motorcycle.
Yeah, 3-hour trek,
yeah. Dave, Kari, you guys are awesome. Absolutely the best of luck with American Travelers. And by the way, go to TravelGuysRadio.com. We'll have a link to all of the American Travelers stuff right there.
And on TravelGuysRadio.com, you can catch all the podcasts of past shows, everything from this show. We're up against the clock. We got to get out of here. We're the Travel Guys. See you next Sunday at 3 o'clock when we're going to have Travel Guys Christmas. Prizes for everybody. Bye-bye.